was in La La Land. Hello, we are live today. I did a Kim switch. It was supposed to be Kim White today, but unfortunately she is ill. So we are wishing her well and giving her the time to just rest and recover. But in replace of Kim White, I have Kim Coleman.
Yes.
So we are not without Kim.
Yes, I will always be the stand-in Kim. That's fine with me. And we will get Kim White back. Maybe Q3, we can schedule another Ask Me Anything and we can have Kim White here. I think it's good that it's not always like owners like me and Jason, because our team has a lot of other perspectives on things and they work more closely with users, I think, overall than me and Jason do at this stage. So they answer questions in a different way than we will.
Yeah, Kim White and like Jared, they're always like more in the weeds with the day-to-day, and so they may have different solutions and suggestions and all that. So if you submitted a question prior to us going live, let me know that you're here, preferably with like your name or your email. That way I can try to find your pre-submitted question. We're happy to take questions in the comments as well. So just let us know that you're here or what you want answered. One common question that we did get this time through the pre-submitted questions was about custom development with Pay Memberships Pro. For that, I'm just going to go right off the bat, and I'm going to drop a link in the comments on our recommended developers and that page that we have on our site. We do not offer any services to custom develop your site, so you will need to hire out for that. But we do have suggestions for you.
And some of those that we've been working on that page a little bit to refresh what's kind of listed there. So some of those partners actually have like a landing page kind of talking about what they've done with PM Pro before and some testimonials and feedback from customers they worked with. So that can give you more information about what they specialize in for each one. I know like Express Text focuses on migrations. Square Lines, which is one of our agency partners, does like large scale association, trade association work. Like bigger site development, although they will take other size projects as well. So check what the people's specialties are. And then you can also go through the freelancer services like Codable or Fiverr, which Fiverr's building up more of a community of developers that offer services for Paid Memberships Pro, whether that's basic setup or if it's something more customized that you need like a year in or 2 years in, something you're doing manually that you want automated or made into a report for you. It's pretty cool. So yeah.
Sensible Senko just commented, said, I have just started working with one of them, and I have to say it hasn't been great. So, Sensible Senko, you are a regular on our open office hours in the comments. We would love to hear your feedback on who you are using and your experience, just so we can kind of understand and maybe narrow down what we should recommend to people a little bit more.
Yeah. Use the contact form. You don't have to out someone here that's uncomfortable for you. But yeah, definitely reach out and tell us what's going on so we can make sure that we have the right people on that page. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so I see Graham said hi, and I don't see a question ahead of time for Graham, but I do see also that a Paul said hi, and I do have a question from a Paul about maps and pinpointing the members. So I think that might be the right Paul.
Okay.
So Paul said, I have a new client that would love to have a map with pinpoints for all the members of the organization. And when you click on the pin, it shows a profile of the clerk, photo, and bio. Any plugins you can recommend to make that easier to create. So Kim, right off the bat, my mind goes to our membership maps add-on.
Yep.
Does that have the capability of when you click the pin though?
Yes, it does. So if you want to bring my screen up, I'll try to scroll through some pictures here. Cool. So these are screenshots. It's something I'm not going to set up here on the Ask Me Anything, but check this link out for the add-on. You'll see here there's a screenshot. This is when Membership Maps is used in combination with our Member Directory add-on. You do not have to use them in combination, but I think because you want profiles, you're going to want to do this single profile pages also. But it adds a map. You can insert the map itself via shortcode, or you can set it to show the map on top of your member directory, which is what's shown in this screenshot here. The pins actually do have a little hover action, and if by hovering over them, it does give you a tiny information window. It's info window, it's called, which you can customize what content is shown there. And with the member directory add-on link to that, the info card that appears when you hover on a pin includes a link to get to their single user profile, which is this second screenshot. I don't know if that makes my window any bigger, which has the map just for this user closer up for them and their pinned info, and then their other profile information. So this is maps done the Paid Memberships Pro way. Let me see. And then you can use it in combination with this member directory and profiles add-on. So I think that's your best bet because it's most tightly integrated with Paid Memberships Pro. There might be other WordPress plugins that you have, like look at your users list and show a map of them. But if you want to narrow it in where only a certain membership level or people with any membership level or some selection of a few, you would want to use this official add-on for Paid Memberships Pro.
Awesome. I hope that helps, Paul.
We could do sometime like a better video. I don't know that we have a great video of the maps add-on because it does involve setting up a developer account with the Google Maps API. Yeah, but I've set it up before. It's not impossible.
I've played with it a little bit. There was a code recipe that I was working on and for that add-on. And I was getting really frustrated because I did not know you had to set up all the API stuff.
Yeah.
So definitely read the documentation because that helps.
Yes.
All right, let's see.
Sensible Senko's here, and I see a question that was pre-submitted.
Oh, yes, they did have a question.
So let's look at that one. I can read it. I have several cheap legacy levels from when we first created the membership site. What's the best way to move these to an active membership level and increase the subscription price to that new level? We use Stripe as our preferred payment gateway. So we have an article about how to increase prices. And it does talk about, honoring legacy pricing for members, but at a certain point, you might not want to do that anymore. You might realize, you know what? We can't keep honoring these legacy prices. The value has increased so much. Here's what we do. So this article has a few scenarios you can go through and make the decision of how you want to do this. For me, if you're ready to say like now is the time, what I would do is set an expiration date, pick a date in the future. I'm not sure if it's a monthly level or an annual. Pick a date that you're comfortable saying, this is when we want everyone to have moved over by. If it's annual, you might just go through and set them to their next payment date so that they all kind of have to migrate at their own interval. But if it's monthly, you might just say, okay, by the end of July 2024. So let's set everyone with these recurring levels to expire in the month of July. I don't know how many people you're talking about. If it's a handful of people, less than like 20, 30 people, the best way to do it is by manually going in and editing those members on those legacy prices to set their expiration date. A member with a recurring membership that has an expiration date their membership will expire on that date and their subscription will cancel at the same time. And then what we recommend in this article is going through getting that list of email addresses and sending them a mass email, whether through your MailChimp or if it's not a handful of people, having someone on your team or you yourself just send a personal email, say, hey, here's the facts. We don't offer this price anymore. This is our new pricing. Maybe give them a discount code their first year, somewhere in between the lowest and highest price, but we really need you to be on this higher tier now. We're going to discontinue offering this level. I've set your expiration on your account, which you can see when you log in. So click that link. And then when you're ready to do so, here's the other link to sign up at this new membership level. Now you say you use Stripe. There are some ways within Stripe to change a member's price. It's pretty sensitive to how much you can increase it and whether their payment their credit card company will honor it. So there's no exact value of difference that Stripe or your credit card company will say like, oh, okay, that looks different, but we'll allow it. It depends how much the price is changing. Paid Memberships Pro started out pricing at like $47 and $97 a year. Now we're up to $247 and $397. We're looking at some other pricing changes coming later this year. So we actually have people still paying that $47 per year. I think that if I went into their subscription in my payment gateway and said, "Oh no, it's $397 now," I do not think their credit card would honor it. That would be seen as like a very large anomaly, a very large increase between. Yeah, that would be fishy. It would probably get blocked. So I think rather than if it's a small change, you could try going into Stripe. There is a way to update the price. I think we have that in our docs, Sam. Maybe even in this article.
I think it's in this article. And also, while we're on the topic of raising prices, May 23rd, so our next open office hours for this month, will be with Jason Coleman on this topic.
Oh, great.
Maybe it's not in that.
We do have one about Stripe subscription update. I can modifying payment subscriptions in Stripe. Okay. So this gives you the steps to change the price of an existing active member. It's a manual process, one by one, going in and saying, no, they're paying this now. It sounds like in your case, though, Sensible Senko, they are moving level IDs. So that becomes a little more complicated. I think communication might be the strongest approach. If it's not thousands and thousands of people, that would make that impossible.
They said it's 140, so that's
okay.
It's time consuming, but it's not terrible.
Yeah. But if you really know that list, maybe you're already using email marketing, you know it's everyone on level ID 2, you'll be able to just mass email them and say, things are changing. Click this link. This takes you to your membership account page. It'll tell you when your new expiration is. You can use the I'm not going to say you can do that. I wondered if you could use the import process, but I think that might also be a scary thing. So you might not set an expiration date and just say, like, if you haven't changed by this date, we're going to cancel you. There is a logic in our toolkit that can bulk cancel people if you don't want to do it as a manual process. But hopefully, as you send those communications out month by month, it'll become a smaller and smaller number of people.
We hope that
the toolkit does have a mass cancel everyone with a specific level ID. So if you knew everyone from level 2, we say July 31st, we're all canceling you. You can use toolkit to do a bulk cancel if it was still 140 people. Yeah. We're in the same boat trying to decide what to do with that piece. So
yeah. Michael said, I'd like to add a custom field when the members are signing up where they put in their username. I want them to be able to put their business they are with so I can link them to bundled accounts. Is user fields what I need for that? Where do I find that data after they sign up? To initially get the business name, yes, I would say user fields, but the bundling of accounts I would say group accounts for that.
Yeah.
But I guess like the caveat to the group accounts add-on would be the parent would be paying for the child seats within that business. So it kind of depends on the structure that you want it set up. I do know I was in pre-sales earlier today, and somebody was asking me about how to filter your directory. So there are different ways to customize how you can search and filter the directory.
Yeah, if it's really just because you have a subset number of businesses that someone could identify from, a user field for business, you might not want it to be free text. You might want to do it as a drop down and let people choose. You know that there's only 100 companies it could possibly be, or this user fields and a user taxonomy, which would give you some ways in the back end of your site to filter different people. If it's 5 different businesses, maybe it's 5 different membership levels. And then you really have that clear delineation. You're from this business, you're from this business. It really depends what you're doing with those bundled accounts at the end of the day, where they, how they're being like grouped up and what you need to do with them as a group. I would say if they're being grouped in a way that you need to be able to like query them, create a custom report, view only people who said their company was Stranger Studios LLC, which is our company's name, you would want to use structured data like a user taxonomy or a drop-down field, or you'd be manually editing it as the admin. Where do you find the fields after they sign up? That would be in a few places. We can show that here in this site. Any custom fields you've added to your membership checkout process will be shown on the Edit Member screen for the single member. So you can go in and see this is a new panel for a user field group called Custom Company Information. Same thing you're talking about here. And I would be able to see this per member on the Edit Member screen. Company name, Twimbo. I had some people thing generate these names. They're not real companies. And then we have some code recipes, which would let you display it also as a column on this members list if you wanted it in kind of an aggregate scannable way. There's too many ways to go about that. It really depends what the bundling of it needs.
And if you do the directory and profile pages, you can also make it the user field for the business name to show on the profile as well on the front end. So it really depends on what you're doing with the bundled people of the.
Yep.
All right. TK Shredder says, howdy, PM Pro question. Is there a way to add an image per each membership level akin to a featured image for a page or post? Yes. And I mess it up every time.
You're talking about member badges? Or are you talking about
I was talking
else?
about adding the how you have it in the demo site on our levels. I was thinking that of like the image in the membership level description.
Well, that's one way to do it. You can certainly, we have this on our demo site. You can see our pricing page has an image here. So it makes the levels page have these graphics. And then when you go through to the single checkout page, you have that graphic shown. That's just in the description of the level. It depends what you need to use them for. That would only show up at this like checkout process. It wouldn't later show up to members of professional. So that's one option. That's really just in the settings, edit a level. And then in the description field here, I was in the text side, but you can use, how do you add an image? Add media to insert an image from your WordPress media file into that description field. The other, if you need it attached to the member to show them later, then member badges is what you'd want to do here. It has a field that gets added to this edit member screen or edit level screen that assigns a unique graphic for each membership level. And then anyone with that level, you can do certain things with custom code or short codes to show them their badge at later times. So this is kind of the idea of like, if you wanted people to download an image that would show on their website and show that they, I'm a proud member of the PM Pro Slack community kind of thing. You would only use the member badges add-on.
They said, I thought about using that, but needed it free from text.
I don't know why that's a limitation.
They're looking to have an image per each level for display on checkout, etc., but needed to be free from text.
Free from text. Yeah. Badges might work for you. It should be free from text. And then, you could also do this so it's on the checkout, the description there.
They will look into badges.
Give it a shot.
Richard, is there a general way users can create an account for login and sign out without subscribing to any plan? I do have profile add-on, but I don't get an extensive setting to edit the profile page.
What is the profile page? I guess is what or the profile add-on. Are you talking about just the user fields that get captured as part of their registration? Or are you talking about like the public profile that gets displayed and the public can see it perhaps, or other members? We are doing some improvements to our member directory and profiles add-on this quarter, maybe next quarter, to make it more customizable, more visually interesting, more like a social media, like a Facebook profile would look with a banner and some more structured data on it. But if you're just talking about the registration, there is a way to disable the redirect to the levels page and allow registration through other WordPress plugins. So you can use the default WordPress user registration. If you do that,
They said the public profile that gets displayed.
Is that with the member directory add-on? maybe you're talking about, maybe you're using something like a Buddy Boss or another community plugin that creates profile pages for WordPress users. I'm going to just try to find that article about disable. When Paintbrush Pro is active in your WordPress site, all user registration gets funneled through your membership levels page. So there is a way in WordPress that a user can register if you have that setting enabled. And where is this post? What is it called? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know, because we always make it so, like, our default is creating a user, checking out for a level, even if that's just a free level.
Here. Okay, so this article has a recipe that the first thing you need is this one, the filter PM Pro login redirect return false. So that one would tell your site, allow people to register through other WordPress plugin registration forms or through core WordPress's user registration itself. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what you, at the end of the day, what you want to change. If it's just the appearance of the member directory and profiles page, there's other recommendations we would have for you to customize the appearance of this. Yeah, stumped. You don't generally want, when you're running a membership site, you want people to have a membership level because that's how you can control what they can access and that they become kind of part of your funnel, even if it's a free user. That's how they become part of any other systems in your site that check user level. You know, your email marketing tags them as a free user. You know, protecting content on your site, you can protect for that membership level. So it's not really what Paintbrush Pro is designed for.
Richard said, okay, that answers my question. Thank you. So
okay.
We helped even though we got stumped.
Even though we're stumped.
Okay, sure resource. I want to add unique membership numbers. Do you have someone we can pay to install that? I just don't have time to figure it out.
Okay.
No, we do not have anybody that helps custom develop. I did drop the link to our developers page at the very beginning of this open office hours. So if you scroll back through the comments, you can find that resource. But in addition to that, we do have code recipes on our site. Kim, if you want to search for that real quick. We talked about it the last open office hours as well. And we have a couple different recipes on how these get generated in different ways. But for the most part, these are a matter of dropping the code into Code Snippets plugin. That's one of the plugins that we recommend all the time. It's on our demo sites. We use it. You drop this in, and I think the only thing you really need to change is your level ID. That should be pretty accurate, right, Kim?
Yeah. So if I just copied that snippet, I'm in the snippets plugin here. This is the snippet to generate a member number. Yep. Okay. So that's active on my site now. I didn't have a member number before. You won't see it here, but we can get it to show up here if we edit our user fields. So I didn't customize the snippet at all. We have an article about how to use code snippets. Let's try. I think that was what it was, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Let me see. If I do that, that might work. No, it didn't generate that one. Maybe I have to go to the membership account page. Hold on.
I think the caveat is like, yeah, you have to like visit your profile page for it to generate.
All right, let's try that now. So now that generated my member number. So I just dropped it into a user field just so we could see it quickly. That article that has all the different ways that you can leverage the member number. It has some other places and ways to display it to people, but it really is a simple drop-in code. If you have very unique needs for what the member number, how it looks, how it's generated, you might need something else. If you have sequential member numbers, you might need something else, but I don't know.
And
I
I
like
just dropped
to
the link to
encourage
that.
people. Yeah. Even if you're not a developer, most of our code recipes are that straightforward and don't need any customization. To give it a shot, even spin up a local development site, make a clone of this site. This is at try.pmproplugin.com. You can set up a clone of the site we're using today in this demo and then drop that in and see if you're able to get to where you need, in a short period of time. You might be able to solve it for yourself. But maybe
And
a Fiverr
just
developer or Codable could also take on a pretty small scale project like that for you.
to add in what Kim was saying about, we encourage you guys to try it for yourself. And a lot of our code snippets are just drop them in, maybe tweak a number or two in there for like your level ID. I've said it before on these, if I can do it, y'all can do it. I promise. Because I came in about 3 years ago knowing nothing about Pay Memberships Pro, knowing nothing about code. And believe it or not, I am the main author for those code recipes blog posts that you guys use now. So if I can understand it and figure it out, I promise you can too.
Yes.
Promise. All right, let's go back through our questions.
This one's straightforward. There's someone named Sam. They asked about seeking a developer. We shared that developer link. They asked why Upwork wasn't included. Upwork, as far as I know, doesn't have a specific list of PM Pro developers, but we can check it out and list them. We got contacted by Fiverr because they're building up a specific category of developers for Paid Memberships Pro. And then Codable also we have a direct relationship with. So put me in touch with someone at Upwork. Upwork, if you get pinged because I said this word, let us hear what you have for us. And if there's a collection of developers available, certainly that could work. But the one question that was interesting, could you provide guidance or recommendations on hiring a developer? And I think we have an article.
Oh, we do. Let me find that.
We always go back. We're like, we have an article for this. Not to share the information here live with you, but to also say that, you can dig deeper into this topic. This article is talking about like the 6 different ways you might employ a developer. Do I need one? What are they doing? Are they doing general setup? Are they customizing something? And all those pieces. Some tips for developer collaboration in a safe way. Gradually granting them access, starting with a smaller project, using these trusted platforms we talked about, all these kinds of things. And certainly removing access after the project is super important. Even with our support team, we find people leave that administrator testing account just for our team to go check a setting or check if there's any custom code at play. Regularly reevaluating who has administrator access to your project, super important. And then some FAQs. So this is a good article to go through when you are like, I'm ready to hire someone. This is so painful. This manual process is so painful, or I really want this to look a little bit more like my theme, or we just need this one tweak, like these member numbers. What can a developer really do? So check out that post. That was for Sam, who pre-submitted. Okay,
Not me,
Sam. Other Sam,
Sam.
your turn.
Different Sam.
Pick from the pool.
Yes. Okay, so Alan in the comments, I'm having trouble fixing the formatting of my account page and redirect on logout. Just to not get too in the weeds, as far as formatting your account page, I would highly recommend searching our YouTube channel for design tips and tricks, because Kim and I have done different designs. It's also going to depend on, like, are you using a different page builder? What is your theme? There's a lot to play with as far as formatting the different pages. And we also do, Kim's pulling up another great blog post on creating that account page. And then redirecting on logout I think we have a code snippet for that. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'll mention quick this powerful member dashboard. It's less about formatting and more about what is important to show on this page. I know we like things that look beautiful, but we need things to be usable. And a key piece of member retention is that the content on that account page, it's a page that your members are redirected to a lot. When they log in, it's the landing page that they come to. So rather than just showing them account related information, imagine that it's a dashboard, it's a hub, it's the starting place. And you've given them all these values of their membership, whether it's courses, premium content on the blog, a podcast, a private podcast URL, some video library, a downloads library. So I encourage people to step back and think, what information do I want to show on this dashboard that will help them jump into their premium content? I think people don't renew membership when they stop realizing value from it. And even if you're publishing all these things and sending emails, one more place you can remind people of the value of their membership is this account page. We have an add-on called Member Homepages, which also has some features like that to redirect people to a page that you can custom craft if you want your account page to strictly be account, profile editing, and invoice history. If you rather have a homepage, you say like, oh, this is where all Plus members land on login, and it always has the most up-to-date information about their courses, their course progress, the community conversations they're involved in. It depends on what your membership site is, of course, but functionality over design for me is very important for a membership site. People want to interact with a site that makes it easy for them to jump to the content that they're paying you for. We have some very successful websites using Paid Memberships Pro. And as a person that does design websites, when I log into them, I can go, oh, wow, that's what that looks like. And in reality, I look in their back end and I'm like, they're making millions of dollars. Okay. And that tells me the story that people are there for the content. So don't forget to give it to them. But there's design improvements coming to Core Paid Memberships Pro also, because we have listened to that feedback for years.
And Kim, in the private chat on StreamYard, I sent you a link to pull up. That is our code recipe on redirecting members upon logout based on their level. So you can redirect them to different aspects depending on what you're trying to do. So we do have a code recipe for that. And I did put that in the comments as well.
Perfect. And that's another one that's pretty close to drop in. I don't know how you all feel about AI, but AI is actually pretty good at taking code like this. And you can say, like, if they have level 2, send them to the page must love cats. If they have level 3, send them to the page must love dogs. AI would be pretty good at modifying a code recipe for you. You should test it. Sometimes it's incorrect, but it might be just that coding companion you need at relatively next to zero cost in most cases.
Yes.
You could probably do a whole up in office hours on, can AI help me?
That's not a bad one to do with Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I had a question. There it is. Okay. I had a glitch. Okay. Mid-Hudson Astronomical Association said, I have a multi-site with PM Pro on one. I made some users administrators, but they're still unable to see or access the add member page. How do I troubleshoot this?
Okay, so tell me how you've set up Paid Memberships Pro in your multi-site. We have 3 different ways it can be used. We can find that article, but basically in a multi-site, you can have multiple sites in your network, and they each can have Paid Memberships Pro separately activated, which is totally fine. You can also have Paid Memberships Pro. The main site we have an add-on that lets people get a site as part of membership checkout. So your main network site, they would sign up and then they would claim a site on the network, or 5 sites as part of their membership. That's kind of people that use Paid Memberships Pro to white label a WordPress agency services, or get a subscription service to get a membership or website. And then the third way, which these are 3 unique sites, PM Pro is only on one. Yeah, so they'll have to be super admins, not just admins, or have admin access to the site that Paid Memberships Pro is active on to use add member. The way that multi-sites work is all of the users are managed and at the main network site. So if they don't have access to the to administrate on the main network site, they won't be able to add users. It's just a caveat of multi-site that users are always created at the main network site level. So super admin or admin at the main site would be what they need. Oh, the
They
PM Pro
said,
site isn't the main site. Yeah.
yeah.
You should probably, no, because I guess then they'd have to. That's something we could test and try to figure out. I think they'd need super admin privileges.
As a member
that
manager
point.
going to support multi-site anytime soon? Oh, is membership manager add-on going to support multi-site?
I think the setup you're using where Paid Memberships Pro is only on one site is not a caveat of whether Membership Manager works. I think it's a caveat of how user creation and multi-site works. That users can't be created. But I think it's something we'll test and then just kind of figure out if there's anything we can do in the code to make that function.
We also did a open office hours on didn't we do this?
Oh, I know I did some videos recently.
Maybe it was videos.
Yeah, if
something
anyone on
on our
team is
YouTube
watching.
channel. Something on our YouTube channel does involve Kim setting up multi-sites in different ways and showing the use cases of how you can use our different add-ons for multi-site, because there are different ways to do it. There's also member network as well, which is different than multi-site. So I would also highly recommend checking those videos out just to see maybe there was just a little something that was missed on your setup.
I put a note in our dev channel though, so that we can test that. Yeah. I'm not sure if there's anything we can do to fix it. But it would be the same. I don't know. No, there's probably an answer. I'm not going to get into it now because I don't have a multi-site to test with.
And it takes a hot minute to set it up. It's not a fast setup.
But your goal would be, just so I can recap for the devs, it's a multi-site where PM Pro is only on one site. There are admins of that sub-site where PM Pro is active. There are membership managers on the sub-site where Paid Memberships Pro is active, and they cannot use the add member feature to create a new member in that sub-site. Yeah.
That sounds accurate.
I agree. You would not want to do that. Okay. That should work. We say that Paid Memberships Pro can be distinctly installed on sub-sites in the network. So that should work, and maybe it's something we can do in the code.
All right. Steve has a question about shortcodes. I'm trying to edit a shortcode to change a section title. Here's what I'm using, but it's not working. What am I doing wrong? PM Pro account section equals membership, title equals my membership and certifications.
Let's try it. I think this one is using it's memberships. What did he say his is?
Membership. No S.
I think it's an S. Let's see. If that's what the problem is, it's just, maybe our docs are, I don't think our docs are incorrect. Yeah, so that works. I think you just need plural for the section. Because if I do that, no, that works too. Is that what yours looks like?
PM Pro underscore account section equals, quote, membership space title equals, quote, my memberships.
He has an ampersand, right?
There is an ampersand rather than spelling it out.
That might be it. No, that works too. Huh. And you're on PM Pro 3.x. That was added before that. If you're using the block editor, maybe try the membership account, my memberships block instead. If you're using like a tool like Elementor or Beaver Builder or Divi, I don't have those installed on this site. Maybe that's a limitation. If you let us know if you're using a different page builder to create this page, why that might not be working, but that looks right.
And maybe let us know what you're seeing. Are you seeing the short code just on the front end as if it was typed in the back end? It's not rendering at all.
Good one, Sam. I didn't think of that. Or is it
I know
just putting
that's
the
I've had
default
that problem
title?
before where the short code just didn't render on the front end, and I was just looking at the
You're
short
like,
code.
what's going on? Yeah.
Okay, so
Title equals, yeah.
Sensible Senko has another question. Can you reorder the level IDs around? Mine are all out of sync, so my highest price is the middle level ID. I know you can drag and drop them. Does that change the ID number though? Probably not.
It won't change the ID. It will change the order they display throughout the admin of your site in like membership require block settings and page settings. It'll also change the order they display on the default membership levels page. But you wouldn't want to do anything to change to make the IDs, edit the IDs. A lot could get out of sync. There's a lot of database tables that interconnect to say Sam has level ID 2, Kim has level ID 14. But if it's just display oriented, when you're editing, this is 3.0, but you can drag and drop to reorder these. So now I put enhanced, beginner, professional. When I go to edit a page in my site, it should have them in that order. No, it doesn't. Beginner, enhanced, professional.
Their IDs are 2, 3, 4, 7, 10, etc. They wanted to make them easier to manage.
Okay. So you want to change the IDs. That would definitely be developer territory. You would need to edit a few different tables that have relationships with the level ID. We did just write up a whole thing about our membership database structure, right, Sam?
We did.
I don't know that I'd recommend this, but if you really must, it's gonna hit a ton of. If you had any discount codes, it's gonna affect those tables. It's gonna obviously affect the levels, any level meta you might have. All of
Definitely
the orders
subscriptions,
have level IDs, categories that are protected.
I think it might hit every single database.
It might hit every table, man.
That could be.
I know that's one of those like if
scary.
you knew then. We all live in the like if I hadn't done this then, you know.
Okay. Another question from Sensible Senko is about staging sites. Do we have PM Pro do's and don'ts with staging sites, and is there anything we should be aware of? I do have a couple of different blog posts of like why you should use a staging environment and how to safely set one up. Yeah, what you're showing. But I don't know if we have any specific do's or don'ts like we do with like pricing.
The biggest do for me is trust the paused mode. So Paid Memberships Pro's current release and a few releases back introduced a logic to store the last known site URL. So a staging site would be a different URL. So if we detect that URL change, we pause subscription cancellations, subscriptions, like receiving information from a payment gateway webhook or something like that. Expirations get paused. So that's in place to protect you when that URL change happens. One thing I like to do is install this plugin for disabling all emails. Is that in? No, it's probably in this. It's probably in this article. Your WordPress site sends out emails at all different times. So you definitely want that staging site to not email members ever. So then here, email. Deactivate email in the staging site. Our toolkit has logic to do this. So any email that the member might get would be blocked. There are other WordPress plugins that do email disable. But this is really a good article that has step-by-step what's going on here. We also never recommend expecting a staging site to be an exact in-sync clone of your data. We never recommend people push a staging site live because while you were building that staging site, new members signed up. Their existing members' levels changed. New content was published. New orders were generated. So it's very challenging to keep that data in sync, those IDs in sync. So staging sites, we really recommend use it for testing, use it to try out a code recipe, use it to check if like maybe you like this new theme a little better. But we're not going to sync data back from the staging site to the live site. We're going to just manually make those moves. But yeah, go through this use pause mode, deactivate your payment gateway. You don't need a live payment gateway connected on your staging site. Those are the high-level pro tips.
Just to add, Sensible Senko said, I just saw the membership overwrite on a live site that's still getting members. It's a bad idea to use, ? This is one of the things that the developers that I've hired from your list is doing, and I'm just a little worried.
Okay. Membership overwrite on a live site that's still getting members. What's the membership overwrite, I wonder?
That I don't know. I haven't. Is there something about that on this page? Overwrite?
Maybe a member's membership got modified.
Oh, on the staging site, the first section of use extreme caution, there's bullet points. There is saying your staging site members data overwrites the live site, removing all new members and their data that have joined since the staging site database clone was created.
Yeah.
And your staging site data overwrites all the recurring order data from the real members in your live site.
Yeah, those are our worst case scenarios. So if that's happening, somehow the staging site is making changes to memberships, sending that information to your payment gateway. It's still connected. And then your payment gateway is doing what it's supposed to do. It's sending through IPN, sending through the Stripe webhook, cancellations, level changes, expirations being sent because the staging site told it to. So it's odd, but you have two sites. The staging one says, hey, Stripe, cancel them. I deleted the users. And then Stripe says, oh, okay, sure. And go and talks to the site that it knows about. That's what pause mode is really meant to protect.
Hopefully that helps.
And it's not. Yeah, when new members come in, the staging site should not be keeping up with it. We don't recommend trying to keep a database sync between live and staging. That staging site, trying to move that live, if you have new members coming, you're not going to want to touch the users table, the memberships orders table, for sure. Or the membership users table also. It's tricky. It makes it very hard for people to like retheme their site. You're like, I want a whole new theme. Let's start from scratch. Because not only does changing a theme just change the active theme in the site, it often changes your menus, your widgets. If you're using a block theme, all of the way that the block-based theme has been customized, all of the landing pages you've redesigned in the staging site. So sometimes the staging site's beautiful, you're ready to go, and then it's like a weekend of maintenance mode on the live site and human beings moving and putting those customizations in place on the live site.
So Paul has a string of comments about some issues with PayPal Express.
Okay.
I am actually just going to suggest to Paul, reach out to us via support ticket system if you are a premium member, or a contact page, just so we can kind of dive into what might be going on.
Most often, review status is when PayPal didn't communicate back to your site that the payment was completed. So if you're using PayPal Express, you can disable that like extra review step, and people don't have to reconfirm. But what basically the orders process will be, someone's using PayPal Express, they come to your site, they fill out the membership checkout form, they click the button to pay at PayPal. What happens on your database at your site? They have a user account and they have an order and token status. They go to PayPal, they come back from PayPal, and then if you have that review step, it'll turn the token order into a review status order, and then they have to like click to complete the payment. You can turn off that extra step, but it's probably going to come down to a problem with the way IPN is. This is that confirmation step. Just skip that step. When they return from PayPal Express, process their order right away. So check that setting.
They do have that setting already.
Okay, then I think this is all a problem of IPN. We have an article about it.
It's if you look up PayPal IPN, there should be a spot on our PayPal. Yeah, there you go.
That's how to set it up. Is that also troubleshooting? There's a bunch of steps for troubleshooting. That's how to set up IPN. Where's the troubleshooting? Oh, here, IPN troubleshooting tips. We often have people say they went through all these steps, but we realize then after we go to help them, they didn't actually go through all these steps. So this is a good one to go through and line by line, make sure, confirm, move on to the next step can help.
I'm dropping this link in the comments right now.
Oh, cool. I should be giving you the links in our private chat. I can't post to the comments. It says I have to join the chat by connecting my YouTube, but I'm like, that might break. I never saw that before.
Well, it's okay. I'm pretty fast at searching our site and getting what I need.
You are a human index. You are a human sitemap of our website.
And YouTube channel and Trello boards.
Yes. One day we'll all retire and you'll have to find a way to expunge that all from your brain.
Too much mental space is taken up with PM Pro knowledge. Yeah. Graham asked a really good question. For future reference, where do I add questions before the event? On Slack? So you could post on Slack. I need to do better about announcing things on Slack, so thank you for the reminder for that. But if you go to paidmembershipspro.com/live, when we do have an event coming up, there is usually, right there on the screen, rather than saying that it's closed, there is a form right there, and that goes to the inbox. And then that ends up on our beautiful documentation that I have for answering these questions. So, and we also do try to email back too. So for some reason, if it's off topic or it's just a little bit more in depth than we want to go into the open office hours, we will email you back. Your question will not go unanswered. So that was a good question.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Tony, any plans or progress on plans to extend group membership levels to support tiered pricing, i.e. one price for up to 5 seats, another price for 6 to 10 seats? If I recall, this came up earlier this week, and it's not published yet, but there is a code recipe in the works for this. So at this time, it's not a plan to put it in the add-on to make the add-on work that way out of the box. But in the next coming weeks, I will get that recipe out if it was approved to do that setup. So yes, there is plans. All right. We're coming up on our hour, and I know Kim's throat is not feeling great today. No. So we are going to try to keep this AMA at the hour. Pat says, I'm using Cornerstone Pro to build my site. How can I view the code behind shortcode so I can modify or add copy to the various membership pages? That one's all you, Kim. I don't know. I've never heard of Cornerstone Pro. Is that a page builder?
Let's look it up. Is it this? No. Maybe it's this. This website builder? Maybe it's this. I don't know. We're not integrated. If that's the one you're using, we're not integrated with it. As far as like viewing the source of a shortcode, how it renders, this is going to get very developer-y, but we can use developer tools in Chrome. Is that showing? Yes. Okay.
Yes, it's true.
To see this HTML structure. So for example, this memberships and certifications, which we customized, it uses this class PM Pro box. It uses this class PM Pro table. So if you were going to try to write custom CSS to also match these same selectors, you could do that. But I don't think that that's going to talk to your page builder very easily without customization. That's a tough one. We can't integrate with every theme and every builder. You can ask your builder to provide support for us. Most of the time, what I'll see is a website, let's say it's using a certain WordPress theme, and every time it shows a table, that theme has a special selector that it uses for the table and it has styling for, but Paid Memberships Pro doesn't have it. So we do have a way to do that with the PM Pro Get Element class. We have a few tutorials about that. It's very developer focused, and it's not something most people are doing on their own. Where's all of our, we just moved those, our compatibility with themes, right?
Oh, yes, it's under documentation compatibility theme.
There. She even knows the URL, guys. So these
This is embarrassing.
a collection. No, it's not. It's awesome. It's encouraging. That says, oh, my theme calls things this was for Astra, let's say. All the buttons in Astra use this AST class. So add that to places PM Pro's buttons are rendered. So that's the best way to bring in your builders style CSS selectors or your themes CSS selectors. Very developer focused, and you need to have like a really strong understanding of looking at the source code of the page. That might not be what you're needing, but right now there's no more finite granular ways to edit short codes, the rendered content of a short code.
At least I don't know page and post ID numbers.
You don't know the IDs. Don't challenge yourself too much to do that. Could you imagine? You know, user level IDs.
No, I don't even know that. Thankfully, there's
okay.
Still room in my brain for those.
There was a pre-asked question about why do PM Pro subscriptions get tagged as free trials in Stripe? This is just a caveat of the way the Stripe pricing API works. With Paid Memberships Pro, they get charged at checkout, and then there's this delay of one subscription period, and then the subscription actually begins. Stripe subscription APIs may have evolved since then, since we've re-looked at our Stripe integration, but they aren't actually free trials. And it's never really shown to the user. It's just shown to you when you look in Stripe. So I recognize that that's confusing. And then they also asked if there was a way to automate subscription price increases and decreases. Not right now. You have to modify the payments in Stripe. But now with Paid Memberships Pro 3.0, we do support a subscription sync. So it's less manual. There's a manual step, but it isn't as cumbersome. If I had gone in and edited a subscription, well, that one doesn't. I don't think any of these members actually have subscriptions because our demo site wasn't linked to a live gateway. No one has a subscription. There is a single subscription page. If you were on that page, you would see a button kind of around here that says Sync with Gateway. Once you've modified what they're paying in their Stripe subscription, clicking Sync with Gateway will retrieve the current pricing that they're paying, and it will reflect in your site where the subscription price is shown and in the member on their membership account page where they see what they're paying you. So it got better with 3.0, but it doesn't allow you to make price changes within the PM Pro side.
I think there's something you said, you don't know if Stripe still does this way or not. Paul confirmed it does do it that way.
Okay.
And Sensible Senko says, I was wondering why there were so many trials when we don't do trials.
Yeah. It's just how we have to make that first charge, that initial charge. It needs a charge to anchor the subscription to, and it feels hacky, but it's what it is.
Awesome. Well, we are basically at the top of the hour. If you submitted a question ahead of time, I still have your email available, so I will spend the afternoon giving you some answers via email. Nice. So be on the lookout for those. And then May 23rd, 2 p.m. Eastern, we will be here, or I will be here, with Jason Coleman on the do's and don'ts of raising prices. So
that's a fun topic. And we did touch on it a little bit here, so come back.
We did, and I know we've talked about this topic before with Jason, but I feel like with
perennial.
Businesses, it's constantly, pricing is something that you constantly want to be thinking about. So it'll be a good topic.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Have a good day.